This little baby came from a clutch that frankly had a pretty rough start, but it has something that immediately reminded me of a snake that I loved for years and years. And I'm very excited to have her. So of the clutch, we had 6 eggs. One didn't develop. One didn't make it out of the egg and passed inside. And then another one passed away shortly after coming out of its egg, which left us 3. This is one of them. This one was the first to shed its skin. This one appears to be doing just fine. No visible signs of any issues. And then we'll show the last one that's survived of the 6 eggs. Just a very, very pretty anery baby here. And here's the last baby from the clutch. As you can see, its eye, the opening is a little small. I have seen it moving the eye around. It seems to be getting around just fine, but that right eye is definitely does not have a normal opening. As you can see, the left looks just fine, and there's a little bit of a wonky tail there at the very tip. But because of these issues and how they came out, I think they came out a little bit early. Even so, I don't know that, I mean, obviously the eye would have been there regardless of staying in the incubator or in the egg longer. But I was very, very worried about this clutch in general, having developmental issues. Seeing this eye, 2 babies not making it, and then the little curly Q tail. Oh, I'm sorry, sweetie. So they've all now shed their egg skin, which is by no means proof that they're going to be fine, but it's a very good indicator that things are progressing in a good manner. Can't see or feel any other issues on any of the babies so far, so very, very pretty anery animal. Poor little thing with its eye. So now that you guys have seen the update on the baby, I want to introduce you to Miss Piggy. Miss Piggy is an animal that was incredibly special to me, just wonderful animal. They're all very special, but there's a select few, for those that have animals will understand, that they just connect and touch you in a different way. And Miss Piggy was definitely that. She was just the sweetest natured animal, not shy of anything, not scared of anything, very confident, but very sweet and docile. So we're gonna have some pictures, as you're seeing, some old videos of Miss Piggy. Miss Piggy came, I purchased her from Garrett at Reach Out Reptiles. She was actually produced by another gentleman. Her tail got shut in a tub when she was a baby, if I remember right, and that's what caused that kink that you guys are seeing. It became an endearing trait of hers that I fell in love with. She actually became my mother's favorite snake, which, for those that know my mother, is shocking. But everybody just fell in love with Piggy. Just a wonderful, wonderful animal. Obviously very, very pretty, but it was her personality that really made me fall in love with her. Unfortunately, Miss Piggy did pass away. It broke my heart when I lost her. But something about this new baby, Snow, which is the first Snow that I've ever produced, coming out with a curly Q tail, just immediately reminded me of Miss Piggy. And you know, these babies are I wouldn't say out of the woods necessarily. You know, they're going to be monitored very, very closely to make sure that they're strong and healthy and stuff like that. But just something about that curl tail and being the first snow that I've ever produced, matching up with Piggy, which was the first snow I ever procured, just really hit home for me and really gave this particular baby a special sense of closeness to me, I guess, for lack of a better term. And I'm just really grateful that this little baby's here. I hadn't said much about any of the clutch because I was cautiously optimistic, but emphasis on cautiously. I was unaware and unsure of what might happen with the clutch. But now that they've all shed their egg skin, other than the small eye, the tail, they all seem to be behaving perfectly normal. They're climbing and curious and exploring like normal baby retics would, which is so wonderful. And again, they're not out of the woods. They're going to be monitored very closely, but my cautious optimism is now gaining more towards the side of optimism. So very excited about that. I wanted to explain to you all why this little baby is so important to me, because it ties and it reminds me of an animal that was incredibly near and dear to my heart for years and years. So that's kind of how this baby ties into the sentiment for me of a previous animal that I unfortunately don't have any longer, and is extremely fondly remembered very, very frequently. So those that follow me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, stuff like that, you'll see that the babies that I'm showing are just numbered. That's not to be cold. It's not that I don't care. Frankly, it's that I get far too attached to these babies if I do name them. And I can't get that attached to them. But for this little baby, reminding me of Piggy, that was and is so near and dear to my heart. The plan for this little one is to let it live out its life here, and hopefully, you know, just provide it a good life. Like I said, we're not out of the woods. There may be other issues that aren't seen yet. Hopefully not. But we're gonna give this little one the best chance to survive and just have an awesome life as a very, very loved pet as we can. So I'm really happy to see this baby is shed out, and that other than the little tail, seems to be healthy, curious, doing all the normal baby retic things, which is just wonderful. I can tell that, you know, there's some scales on the belly that are a little bit different towards the tail, but we're going to do the absolute best we can for this one. And this little one will be staying at Heartland Reptiles. Just my first snow produced. It reminds me of Piggy, and on top of that, it just peed on me. I don't want to, you know, have it go and have problems somewhere else. So really excited that it looks like this one's doing better, and we're gonna give it the best that we possibly can. Try and give it a happy, healthy, and full, long-lived life. So for those that have stuck around and followed along, thank you so much for joining me on the story. There will be more to come as this little one ages. We'll keep everybody up to date, the good and the bad. Hopefully it's all good. But it's the nature of working with animals. You know, sometimes things happen in development and stuff like that. So thank you all for joining me on this Sunday. I hope you all have a wonderful week as always. We'll see everybody next Sunday. Bye, y'all.